Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Learn This Deck with the gorgeous and amazing Dreaming Way Tarot. And today we're going to look at the Emperor. Look at this guy, right? Isn't he gorgeous? Well, I like this card. It's got certain things which are very different from your traditional. Um, and by traditional, I always generally go back to my go to sort of base point, which is the Rider Waite or the Universal Weight deck. So let's begin. The environment, and this is where everything is sort of different, right? If you look at the Rider Waite card, the background or the environment of the card is harsh and full of orange colors, and it's like a barren mountain. There's a very tiny river, if you remember. I hope if I maybe I can maybe put the image of the the card. I'll probably pull it when I edit the video anyway. Now here in this card, it's all lush green. And I like that. It means that the environment around him is very, very fertile. That's the whole symbolism with the greenery. I also really, really find these flowers to be very pretty. I even drew them in my journal. They're very cute. I love them. And some of them, especially the one on the side here, to where the emperor is looking, it kind of looks like a butterfly, but it's not. It's a flower. But I love it. They're really pretty. It's beautiful. Okay. And then of course the flowers, naturally, they represent blooming. The lush green environment is all about fertility. The flowers are all about are all about blooming. Sorry. And then let's look at the person, right? The first thing that obviously strikes you is this really worried expression this guy has on his face, right? It's like he is sitting there and he's worrying about something or someone or pretty much everything in life. He's got worries, man. And then, there's all the black and white checkers, right? On his crown, on the sleeves of his dress, and even the whole black and white, not black and white, but the square patterns or the plaid sort of pattern on his, on the rest of his dress. When I looked at that, the first thing that I sort of thought of was that he likes to think in black and white. He's a very sort of black and white person. And then when I looked at all the boxes, I said, okay, he likes to, put everything in a box. He likes to categorize everything. That's a very typical sort of, emperor energy there. He likes to think in very strict sort of terms. And that's what probably the whole checks and the whole plate thing sort of invite that interpretation from me anyhow. And so let's look at, he's also having this ankh in his hand. Now that symbol, what he's holding in his hand, that it's the predecessor of what we see in most pictures of emperor cards or even the kings, are these scepters. Now this is the ankh, which is the predecessor of that scepter. The symbol means giver of life, and it owes its origins to Egyptian mythology. So that's where it's from, right? So if you look at the symbols from all over the card, we have the greenery, which represents growth and fertility. Then we have the flowers, which represent blooming, which is again growth. Then we have Ankh, which is the giver of life. And then we have the black and white patterns or the boxes, which talk about, black and white thinking styles or boxed sort of, thinking. Then I looked in the LWB, obviously, and the words that sort of stood out over there were father, duty, be responsible for the welfare of his family, he values and protects, he takes charge, he acts in solitary manner. He's confident, but he does not trust anyone else. That's very interesting. He's confident about his own ability, but he has zero trust in others. It's kind of self-reliant there, but maybe not necessarily good with the teamwork angle, maybe. And then, of course, there's the mature man between the ages of 40 and 60. Again, it's not something I personally ascribe to because this energy can come out in different ways, different people, but it was there in the LWB. So, what were the keywords I came up with? upright. The emperor, obviously, first of all, he has this whole worry of other people written all over his face. Then he creates a fertile environment. He is protective and he is a very responsible sort of person. But then, when this card becomes reversed, look what happens. Hmm? Suddenly now he seems like he is very uncaring of other people. He is not able to really create that fertile environment for others or if even for himself. For some reason, he is unable to or not really willing to protect what is his sort of domain, and he's not really a responsible person. He becomes an irresponsible person. He doesn't like to take responsibility for his actions and deeds and stuff like that. It's the Emperor reversed. So here's my card story, right? I put myself in his position and I wrote it in the first person point of view. I have done my best here. I've given them a world where they can make their dreams come true. And still, I worry about them. I worry for them. I want to be there for them, and yet I want them to be self-reliant too. Oh, what am I to do? See, the thing is, the energy I felt when I got into the card story, when I got into writing that card story, is that this is a father who is thinking about giving the world to his children, and he wants to be protective of them. He wants to, so he's creating a world where they can make their dreams come true, but then he wants to be there for them every time if they goof up or if they make a mistake. But at the same time, he also wants them to be self-reliant, because he probably realizes that there'll be a time when I'm not going to be around and they're going to be having to fend for themselves. So it's that whole push-pull, that inner tug that was happening inside of him. That's what that story was all about for me anyhow. So what was your card story? What was your journal entry, and what were your keywords? Go ahead and share them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and use the hashtag learn this deck. You can also, of course, add the Emperor hashtag, the hashtag for the name of the deck, which is Dreaming Way Tarot, and of course Tarotically Speaking. So we can, I can find you and I can like your stuff and we can totally get together and learn this deck. All right. And yep, this is my journal entry. Share your journals. All right. I would like to see how you journal. I guess I will see you guys tomorrow with the next video, which is going to be, you guessed it, the Hierophant. All right. I'll see you then. Be good. Bye now.